Hello, I'm Alea Fleck, and this presentation is about what steps I've taken to be to do my career and what I'm wanting to do. So at the beginning of Vertical, I didn't really know what to expect coming in. I knew that business, marketing, entrepreneurship, and that they were a faith-based school alternative. But I didn't really know that I was going to learn a lot more than just that. I learned a lot about who I am and building my own faith, but then also figuring out what I want to do for the rest of my life. So, Vertical has helped with a lot of what directions I want to take, and I had an idea on what I wanted to do digital marketing. And videography, photography, it would be like on the side. But God had other plans, especially this last semester, this first semester, we had a group project, Capstones, and I was in charge of building a website for Soundpoint. And I have never built a website ever. I've never played around with any softwares, nothing. And so it was all completely new to me, and I really didn't know what I was going to do with this. So I asked for help from Jen Fox. She gave me advice. She didn't tell me that I needed how to fix it. She just gave me advice and the tools I needed so that way I can fix it. And that was the part where I really wanted to do web design along with digital marketing. A few years ago, what started as a hobby was graphic design. I did a lot of volunteer work for my church. And then also I did a lot of stuff for my mom as well because they're also very involved in the church. So I made a lot of graphics like flyers, brochures. I also helped make presentation slides for the church for Sunday mornings. And that was really where I started to get into my creative side of things. I didn't know I had a creative side. I was always into like sports and other things. And I didn't really have that creative side until I started getting into graphic design. There's supposed to be another slide, but this next transition will be into my apprenticeship with Vertical Studios. So Vertical Studios is part of the Vertical Life ecosystem. And what I do here is I do a lot of the social media. My first project was Vertical Wealth. Vertical Wealth is a finance finance firm that is built with the values that a lot of Vertical uses, and is something that is still fairly new. They didn't really have a social media, and they brought me into this apprenticeship to help build up that social media. And so what I do a lot is I use Blaze AI. So it is a AI tool that helps build out social media, and then I can also then post that social media through that app. Then I also make content calendars and build brand awareness. I collab with a lot with Jen on ideas on whether this looks good or if this doesn't and I need to change this, then she will give me feedback. And one of the things I'm actually currently working on with Vertical Wealth is a brand guideline. So I am building all the guidelines for Vertical Wealth so that whoever in the future after me knows who Vertical Wealth is, what their brand is, and who the audience is. Okay. So these are some of the graphics I have made with Blaze AI along with some human input that I've created. And then some future projects I'm working on is with Alea and Ashen Oak. So Ashen Oak, I'm very familiar with Ashen Oak. I actually there as a part-time job. I do a lot of event staff. And so I'm very familiar with them, and they have a great social media going, and so I'm just gonna keep help building that awareness. And then one of the new ones is Alea. So this is a brand new company that Vertical Studios has helping bring to life. And so I'm actually part of a team to help boost their social media, boost who they are, and then how to make ads, how to really make them known so that way they know who they are. I also do a lot of stuff. I'll do a few things with email copywriting. I started getting into what that is and how to do that. I've done a few of that for just some, not necessarily for these companies, but for like Vertical Life. Next is my goals. So I don't have a long-term goal, but I do have a short-term goal. And my short-term goal is I have developed the necessary job skills, experience, and confidence for my career by the time I graduate from Vertical. And so a few of the skills, soft skills I have used and still working on is communication skills, learning how to collaborate and work as a team. A lot of people struggle with working as a team. They can work great as individuals, but then they can't work well with a team because they put all that onto themselves, or vice versa. And then another one is leadership. Leadership development has really helped me know who I am and what I need. And one of those things outside of Vertical is Ash and Oak. I've really stepped into a leadership role there as their event staff. And I wouldn't have done that without Vertical's help. Because I wouldn't know how to lead a team. And if there's like problems that arose, I had to solve those with critical thinking. And I wouldn't have done with any of that without Vertical's help. And then next, maybe. There we go. And then next, I have future goals. I'm very goal oriented. So I love to just map out what goals I want in my career, but then also what will help me in the long run. So some of my future goals is build a website. So my main goal this summer is to build a personal portfolio of all the work I have done this year, but also then the stuff I will be doing in the future. And then with informational interviews, I talked a lot with people who are in graphic design, digital marketing, and then some leadership roles. And one of the most common things they said was learning AI tools. And they said that AI is not here to replace any of that. It's here as a tool to help you and to help processes grow faster if you use it right. And so I just want to learn on what AI tools benefit that the most and how that can help me grow. Another thing is I also would love to job shadow somebody as well. I actually talked to Jen a little bit about this, and she was willing to get me into meetings or learning how she does websites, logos with other companies. And then for after Vertical, I really don't know what God is calling me towards. I know this is the path He has me on so far, but after Vertical, I don't know, but I know that there's people there to support me and to know that it's okay to not know what your future holds. Because I learned that everything I've learned here so far at Vertical is going to help me grow when I'm after Vertical, and that and then I know that I have everything I need to know by the time I get a job out of Vertical. And so I just wanted to say thank you for coming. And does anyone have any questions? Who has the first question?
Alea, I just want to say you're very talented, and I love your drive and how you're goal oriented. It seems like that you taught a lot of things yourself, or just like researching or doing like little mini projects. How like what's your process for teaching yourself something new? Like with the AI tools over the summer, how are you like? What's your plan on teaching yourself those?
Yeah, so a lot of would be like YouTube videos, but I've also found some like free online courses of how to use AI properly and how to benefit that to me. And so I'm going to be definitely looking into those during the summer. And then for website, we did like mock interviews earlier this semester, and one of the things is they want, especially if I'm going into digital marketing, web design, they want me to bring in a portfolio. And so I definitely want to have that for when I am going to an actual interview, that I can show them what I have. Anyone else? Yes.
What was the time that you struggled, and how did you overcome
I think last semester, one of the first struggles I have was receiving feedback and like criticism. I didn't really want to ask for help, especially with our group Capstone with the website. I wanted to kind of figure it out on my own, but I realized that I do need help and that everyone around here, the facilitators and students, they're all willing to help as much as they can. And so just learning how to receive feedback and then applying that too. I think we have one more time for one more question.
I just wanted to say that your confidence really showed up in this presentation. You did a great job there. I want to go back to the AI since that you talked to some other professionals. What AI tools specifically did they tell you about?
One of the things they used, this guy was a video guy, and he talked a lot about how he uses AI and his stuff. So he, a lot of times he writes scripts. So like he'll get it like this 2 minute thing. I want you to write out a script for this. And so just learning how to make AI read a script and then like break it down, but then also using AI for faster processes. Like they said that a lot of times they use it for like inspirations for like designs, or is this going to work, how do I do this, and so a lot of research aspects, and so just benefiting from how to do that efficiently.